Making advertising decisions can sometimes be one of the most difficult things you do in your business. We all know the old adage that only half your advertising dollars work. The problem is you don't know which half. And when you have an ever-changing landscape of digital advertising versus traditional advertising, it makes it all the more confusing. So it's important to review and analyze any kind of intelligence you may be able to have access to in that regard. So let's take a look at television for a moment. A lot of people want to whine and moan and complain that TV doesn't work or it's too expensive. And in some cases, they're right. If the media buy is not done properly, if the message isn't set up correctly, if the programming isn't right, if the day parts aren't right, all of those assumptions are correct. But a lot of people think that no one's watching TV anymore. Well, it's just simply a changing level of who's watching and when. ComScore came out with a report yesterday for the last 12 months, which examines who's watching television and in what measures and doses. And when we look at ages 18 to 34, about 2/3 of their television watching is done with what's considered original programming. They're not watching Netflix. They're not watching internet programming. They're watching something on either a broadcast network, ABC, CBS, Fox, and so on, or they're watching it on a cable outlet. But about 2/3 of their viewing habits is still consumed by original programming, TV programming. Now, for most of you that operate a health and wellness facility or franchise, you're targeting a group that lives somewhere in that 35 to 54 category. And that group, it's well over 80% of their viewing habits are consumed by original television programming. Again, broadcast television as well as cable television. And then when you get in the 55 and older group, 90% of their television consumption for original programming is done with broadcast or cable. Now, why is this important to know? It's important to know because this same category of people, when you look at this chart, are also consuming their television programming on digital platforms, the internet, through streaming services and so on. So you want to make sure you also have an internet presence, but you could live on television and complement it with digital advertising. And the rule right now, which is becoming kind of an old rule, is 60% is in traditional, 40% is in a digital platform. Now, one of the ways you can do this very, very effectively, and we'll examine a media buy we just did recently, $1,000 media buy on cable done on the right channels and the right time of day, and you can see there was about 12.5 Google searches for this particular client before the advertising, and this was done in the month of October. And after just 1 month, it skyrocketed. It went through the roof. And this is only the Google searches for this particular client. It doesn't count the phone calls they received, the form submissions they received, the direct phone calls where someone didn't access it on their telephone. If you'd like more information or even some guidance on how to make a great first quarter media buy for next year, click us or call us.